Pavel was just telling me about how he summoned a shaman when his
No, no,
girlfriend's
summoning,
grandpa.
not like Naruto summon. No. But
No.
yeah, I caught up a shaman because there was a time when one of my, a dear person, for just pretty much somebody passed away in the house, and it was my girlfriend's abuelito, and we were alone in the house, and her mom wasn't going to come back for like a couple of days or a week, whatever. So we had to deal with how to cleanse the house after the body is taken from the house and everything. It was a crazy experience. I was 19, and Diego, my brother, was 17, I think, or I was 19, and we caught up the shaman that me and Ileana, no, that's my girlfriend, Ileana, and we uh, explained to her what happened. Ask her if she could please cleanse the house, and she comes over, and of course, very nice. Of course, I'll help you guys out. Comes through, and what she performs pretty much what is a ritual, I guess, for cleansing, because and she set up just a nice area, a carpet on the floor next to the area where it happened, and she sets a couple crystals of rose quartz, amethyst, clear quartz. She has palo santo, which is the ancient tree bark, I think, and that's like a sacred type of tree bark, just as like sage. And she has sage also, and she gets out ancient drums and instruments like that. And she gives me a drum, gives my brother a drum, gives Ileana a drum, and tells us start playing the drums so that I can get pretty much into a trance, so that I can become ready to start journeying into, the spirit world. Yeah, pretty much. And then I was reading about it. I remember I was tripped out that I was like, I was wondering how she's gonna do it, and then when she hands me the drums, I remember reading, because I was reading a book at the time called Soul Retrieval by Sandra Ingerman. It's a crazy book, and she's a modern day shaman, the author Sandra Ingerman, and she pretty much was explaining. Here, wait, what was I even talking about, man? Let me take a second.
Shaman.
No, yeah, I don't mean to go on a tangent.
So she can go.
No, yeah, I was reading how in the book by Sandra Ingerman, Sandra wrote how one of the common ways and the most ancient way, I think, that shamans get ready to journey is through the drums, because when you play the drums, well, let me begin by saying the earth has a heartbeat. The earth has a heartbeat that people have measured at kilohertz.
Okay.
And I forget the number. I think it's 7 point something kilohertz every minute or second, something like that. You gotta look it up. But pretty much when you play the drums, your brain, either your brain, I think it's your brain waves, or your whole body, not just your brain, but your entire being, it's also becomes synchronized at the same heartbeat of the earth, the 7.8 whatever amount the heartbeat is. So you and the earth's heartbeat are synchronized through the drums, because the drums have that ancient kundalini energy in them. And so then that's what I realized the shaman's gonna do. I was like, she's gonna get ready to journey through the drums. And then I was like, oh shit, I'm playing the drums. Like, how is she, like, if I was like, damn, I don't know. I don't know shit about being a shaman. Like, am I even allowed to play these drums right now? Like, I didn't know what was gonna happen. And she could tell I was nervous, because I was like, hey, like, what beat should I even play? Like, like, is there a shaman beat that gets you in the journey? Yeah. I was like, what groove do you gotta start shaman to? And then she's just like, it's okay, don't even worry, take a deep breath. She kind of helped me get in a relaxed state, and uh, she said, just kind of play a beat like that comes to you, that I'm feeling, and it can be like anything you want. And so I started playing the beat that did come to me, and it was very nice and steady and warm. And I remember I liked the beat, and she liked it too. And my brother and Ileana started drumming along. All of us start drumming, and we're drumming like along together, just by ear, making and keeping it going. She's told us nothing too complicated. Like, you don't gotta get, like, just keep it steady, nice beat. And then she starts singing. I don't know what she was singing. It sounded like Native American, uh, you know, language, like something in a tribal type.
Cherokee.
Yeah, some form of Native American. And she pretty much, as she was singing these very beautiful but very passionate and strong chanting, not I don't know if chant, it was like chants slash just really strong singing, and she was getting into a trance, like, before our eyes. I could tell the room was feeling a little, like, the lights didn't start shaking or nothing like that, but you could just feel the vibe in the room as you were drumming, like, oh wow, like, my heart's beating faster a little bit, and I'm feeling like a higher energy building up in the room, because before the room was very gloomy and dark because death was in the room. And we're doing like the exact opposite, which is just chanting and beating on drums with fucking smoke and crystals and shit. And then I was like, oh wow, we're bringing a lot of energy into the room, I realized. And then she has Ileana continue play the drums. Diego, she gives him this flute, ancient little flute looking instrument, and she gives me a golden little gong like thing. And then she starts getting some holy water. It wasn't holy water, it was sacred rainwater that she collected at the top of a certain mountain. I forget which one she said, and I forgot if she said no, she did collect it, but I forget how old it was. I was kind of surprised. I remember she's like, this is from sacred water from the mountaintop of so and so that I collected from rainwater. And I think it was like maybe just a couple months back, but I was like, oh wow. And it looked just like super potent water. I could feel it. I was like, I don't even want to hold that jar, man. Like, that's it. That's the sacred water. And then she starts. We didn't even tell her where the body was, where all the, because me and Diego had to clean up all the bio and the fluids the dude threw up, and fucking, we didn't even tell her really, like, oh, most of the bio was in this corner and some of it leaked here, but like, she must have been able to seen it because she was getting all the heavy spots me and Diego got, even though we had already bleached that shit out and super cleaned it. Like, we hella bleached it, and
she knew where the energy was.
She knew it, yeah. She could see it, and she was going to all the spots. She went to the spot where we laid his body, even though his body wasn't there no more. And she was like cleaning that area, and then she had us, and all the while Diego was playing the little flute, for Ileana drumming, and me with the gong, and then we walk around the house as she kind of spritz this sacred rainwater over areas of the house, until we end back to the original spot we began.
Yeah.
And then we eventually go to the room of her abuelito that he lived in, which he no longer does because he just passed away, and we just kept playing the drums in the room. And she after a while, she just it naturally ended, and she came back. I could see it in her eyes that when she was back, it was just kind of like that. You could tell, like, oh, she's back. Like, her eyes have they just seem a little different. and she's I don't know how long she was in the journey state, but I know like for us the ritual was like a 2 hour thing, 2 maybe 3 to 3 hour thing. But for her, I think it felt like 2 days or an entire day thing because she came back and she was immediately hungry. And she was like, oh, like it drained a lot of energy from her. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then she's like, oh, so they got some chips and kind of started munching. And she's like, I usually don't even eat. They weren't unhealthy chips like Doritos. They were like Iliana's mom's chips, where she eats like nasty chips, you know, like the healthy ones. But she was munching on those. She's like, I need to eat something. Like, yeah, I'm hungry from the journey and stuff. And I asked her, I was like, all we did was like play the drums mostly. Like, we were just pounding on drums while you were singing. Like, but that was legit lifting up the energy, the death energy in there. Like, I could feel it as we were drumming. It would, like, you could just feel the room, like, it lifting up that whole energy, and you're like, wow, like, where I feel how I'm making it go away, kind of how I'm cleansing it. And she just explained it. She's like, yeah, you're introducing a lot of Kundalini energy to the area, and that's going to cleanse it because that's very strong, powerful energy. That's almost like root chakra type vibes, you know, that just the very essential human will to exist, like you know, just that those kind of vibes, just boom, 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 you know, and that's when she's just like, music is very powerful, you know, like that's a very, since ancient times, and she's the one who kind of taught it to me, even though I always knew music was a very special thing. She's the one who said it. She's like, music is a very powerful thing. It can cleanse, like our music cleanse the room. And then I was like, damn, like I had such a more profound connection with music then, because I was like, that shit happened, you know. And even with drums and part, that's why I love drumming, because since I read that little fact in the soul retrieval book about how the earth has a heartbeat and drumming is connected to the heartbeat of the earth, I always thought that was cool, and I liked the drums since then, but then even more ever since that experience, because it was such a profound experience. And then it was really, the most profound part of it was that I got to see a certain kind of ritual before my eyes and it be a part of it, you know what I mean, since I was a part of the last moments of you know, of Mr. Leone's life. That was him. He was Mr. Leone. That was the homie. That was how I knew him. He was such a cool guy, such a good guy, man.
Alright, so we're gonna stop this video at,
That was an
you learned
intense
about
ass fucking
shamans, summoning or conjuring.
Well, it was more about the cleansing ritual that I experienced with a shaman.
And now, in the next video, Papa's gonna tell us about, what are you gonna talk to us about in the next video?
Anything, man. We can talk about aliens. Can talk about fucking, you know, anything. I'm not, like, we can get into politics and all that if you want, but I don't keep up too much with like I don't watch no news. I don't read too much BBC or nothing, man. I honestly just talk with my family and friends about whatever their views are, and I just open myself up to hearing about people's different views. So we can talk about whatever you want.
Alright, so click, I'm gonna tell you to click on the link below to watch